Aha, and we're back, and you are listening to Villaincast, BJJ Anti-Heroes, with myself, Chris, the Villain Pains, and Naki, our Jefe, our Shed. And welcome to Reap the Week. Firstly, a thank you to our sponsors, the lovely patrons on Patreon. Thank you for believing in this work, and if you'd like to learn more about supporting this channel along with receiving exclusive content, such as the new episodes of How to Defend Everything 3.0, along with personal coaching, you can find out more via chrispainsbjj.com. And since it's pretty much the anniversary when this comes out, thank you to BJJ Fanatics for having us out last year and a couple of times since. If you'd like to view those videos, there's How to Defend Against Everyone, How to Learn Jiu-Jitsu, and Unstoppable Stand-Ups with Charles Harriott. So yeah, 1 year since BJJ Fanatics. How's it going, Naki?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm not too bad.
Good. You look well.
And another, yeah, I had a shave.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah, dude.
I was talking about our 24-minute roll yesterday.
Dude, like, yeah, like I like how you laid out the.
I felt it today.
Yeah, dude, that got a bit hairy. Well, that's good. Like, it was, yeah. There's stuff to talk about with regards to this. And it's kind of like, because we're putting so much content out right now regarding how we're changing our approach to jiu-jitsu. There's like a disconnect because people are still asking, like, oh, yeah, but what techniques are you doing? Like, none. Like, that's the weird thing. None.
Yeah.
Right now. Well, what about submissions? When I can find some, I'll tell you. Right now, I suck. Yeah, so I think the world has changed, and we can definitely talk about that. But yeah, so how's your week been? How's your we did one last week, didn't we, dude? I've done like 2 or 3 podcasts since we last spoke. And
yes.
obviously, they're all going to be out of order when these release. So there's going to be a period. There's going to be one video where it's like me, like this, clean shaven, then like super goddamn hairy again, and then maybe clean shaven again. It's all out of sync.
So, are you going to release the people, or are you going to build it up?
No, I'll let him. Oh no, Steve Hodinsky, I've already mentioned. He's coming out. It was a really good conversation. He's 26 years in the game. Really cool guy to talk to. Josh McKinney, good friend Josh, I Suck at Jiu-Jitsu podcast, and now of BJJ Mental Models as well. He's always a lot of fun to talk to. So yeah, those are the 2 podcasts coming up. Who else is coming up? Haven't recorded yet, but Lachlan Giles.
That's gonna be good. Then
that should be a fun. Yeah, if that one comes off, it should. We're talking. That's gonna be fantastic. Emily Kwok. Over on East Coast USA, that'll be again amazing. Stefan Kesting, that should be coming up imminently. Kit Dale, hopefully, if we can find time on his schedule, he's already interested. So yeah, it's dude, for this little podcast that could, this was
yeah, some big names there, big names, and well-established names, all of them.
Big names across the board. Yeah, it was. I'm like, it was funny as well because the Josh podcast was a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking at how consistency with podcasting and internet content is king. Like if you're going to release something on a Thursday, it comes out on a Thursday. But there's only so many guests you can find in jiu-jitsu. And be able to get under schedules because these black belts are running clubs and they're going to competitions and doing seminars and traveling, etc. And he said, like, man, like sometimes I just have to sit there and just talk to myself. And he's like, he felt jealous that me and you get to talk frequently. He was like, man, I wish I could have a Naki. And I was like, yeah, no, it's really cool that we get to just chat about jiu-jitsu, and he's just there chatting to himself. Hopefully he listens to this, like, hey Josh, or actually more importantly, hey John Danaher, we're on to you. I think it's obviously there's no way Mr. Dan Aher listens to this podcast. It's just really funny that the last one we released, like literally a day later on his Instagram, he's talking about pretty much exactly what we said, to the point where Roger, Blue Dog, messaged me and he was like, dude, he's pretty much word for worded you there. I was like, it's weird. It's really weird. Maybe he's got to share Riverside and gets these episodes first or something. It's odd. Not saying that I'm anywhere on the wavelength of Danaher, but we've been saying it for a while, man.
Yeah, the message is the same.
I think that's, again, it's one of those weird quirks of this, is that the usual jiu-jitsu conversation is about technique, and when you start talking about kind of completely in-depth concept and like really stepping away from that, like, yeah, but what about the technique? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's other things we need to fix first before we even get back to approaching that idea. Like submissions, like you said yesterday, finding submissions right now, hard as hell. Yeah, harder than I've ever felt it. Even finding guard, like teaching some white belts the whole negate first, attack second. I couldn't find guard on white belts. I had to just go find regular jiu-jitsu people just to roll and just confirm. I still know jiu-jitsu, don't I? Like, I haven't had some sort of breakdown and had my brain wiped or something. I still know how to play this game, apparently, against jiu-jitsu people. I
mean, in our role, not once had a guard, really. Like, it wasn't a guard you could attack from, was it really? Like, it was just a negate, and a big explosion.
Yeah. Dude, that made it sound weird. I felt drained today. I have no idea why.
Negate. No. No.
Put it back in. Just like grab it. Like, no.
No. The worst thing is we can't even edit this far out now. So there's no more bloopers. There's no bloopers. It's all going out. No, I mean, I couldn't feel like any time I thought I had a half guard, it wasn't a half guard. If any time I thought it was a butterfly guard, it wasn't a butterfly guard. I couldn't attack. You know what I mean? I couldn't make a solid enough connection to do anything. And I know it was the other way around. You know, I was denying you the same stuff, and I could tell that you were getting frustrated as well. And then there'd be that big, movement trying to get away from there, and it ended up in Turtle somehow. And I was like, oh, Turtle's back.
So that's, like, it's such a weird thing. So it's actually kind of goes on to the first kind of little conversation we're going to talk about, is like loose passing, and like the purpose. Is there a space for loose passing, or just, I don't see it as loose, pressure, tight, squishy. I don't know what you want to fucking call it.
No, I agree.
To kind of go into the villain kind of persona a little bit here, like a bit of a Thanos Infinity Gauntlet of just singular nuggets of stuff we want to apply in jiu-jitsu, and they everything kind of comes out of those Infinity Stones.
You need to click your fingers,
dude, preferably. And it's the first, the first ones we'll look at is, being topical and talking about, because the Ukraine-Russian war is obviously out there, and when I'm not in jiu-jitsu, I just listen to a lot of podcasts. And one thing, talking about listening to those kind of podcasts about the war is the idea of breaking through the enemy front line and then circling your enemy. It's a time-old kind of tactic. You break the enemy's front lines and encircle them and trap them. So you attack them on two fronts. And how is that any different to guard? And it's exactly what we were saying last week before Danaher said the exact same. Like, negate first, attack second. Like, don't let your enemy have anything. And I think that's really important when you're looking at guard passing, is why the fuck are you in guard? Like, someone says to me, like, oh yeah, I'm in a half guard or something. Like, what the fuck did you end up there for? Like, a lot of shit must have gone wrong for you to let the enemy encircle you. It's such a that's essentially whenever you're in a guard, like you're trying to essentially kind of do that. You're trying to get them from being behind you and just break through into a dominant position past their kneecaps. But yeah, why would you let someone get a guard on you? And then again, it was really, really funny that you talked about this. Is that if there's a skill disparity, sure, fight from within someone's guard, let them encircle you, and still fuck with them. But there has to be a skill disparity. Like there's no, like you talked about, me and you. There's no way either of us would let the other person encircle us, break the front lines, because then trying to fight from that encircled situation may win, but it may lose. It's a gamble.
Yeah. Life gets hard.
I don't feel like gambling, like because I could lose in that gamble. I'd rather completely negate your ability to pass my front line, cause you to get frustrated, and then try and get past your knees. And then, talking about loose passing, as long as I don't get you to fuck up, that has to just be the factor. Like, what do I need to do to A, not let past my front line, and B, not let you up? If I can accomplish those two things, I can then take my time in stressing your kneecaps to get past them. But those are like the two, dare I say it, defensive strategies. Weirdly. Not let you up, not let you pass my kneecaps. Or not let you encircle me, should I say.
No, I play with that. I made this was like, since we've started playing this new way, this was our third one, I think. And the first two, you absolutely didn't give me nothing at all. And both times I started on the bottom. If you notice this time, I said, we're going to wrestle. We're going to wrestle because I'm not starting on the bottom. Life was hard. But them 2 times I also rushed a lot as well, and I gave you a lot of things because I was rushing, but I took my time this time, and I think that's why we couldn't get things on each other, because it wasn't opening and I wasn't letting in that space, because the scramble would just, it's that hard, who's going to come out on top, and if you're on the bottom, life's going to get hard.
I think it's one mistake I made is, I think I shot for a leg lock at one point, just went into habit mode, just trying to do an attack. And as soon as you then took your balance and got on top, I was like, fuck.
Yeah. I was like, he's gone to rob the liquor store. This is my chance.
Yeah. But so again, that's a really interesting thing. So we did a drill last week in class, just for anyone listening to this. Hopefully, we have people listen to this.
Yeah. I get messages now as well. Thank you,
dude. So one of the drills we did was right, I want to just roll, not roll, but go and pause every now and then. But when you get to a situation where your balance was tested, how would you keep your balance? And points where you throw your balance away, stop and go, would that have been the right idea? And again, we talked about, keep your balance. It was one thing, big thing from the Ryan Hall seminar, is you want to, who loses their balance loses the fight, or loses the exchange. And then Dana has, the guy saying, take them off their feet, negate their power. And I'm like, yeah, because if you're on your feet, you can generate power. And it was one of those interesting things of, I took myself off my feet to attack you because I saw that leg lock entry possibility. You then found your balance, completely solidified your balance. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Now I've threw my balance away, and here you are in balance, and I can't shift you. And now
I actually
you stripped it.
When you entered, I overcommitted on it, so I wanted you to fall for it, because I thought that's going to be my chance to get up, because I'm gonna gamble here. And thankfully, in that situation, the gamble worked. But I was like, I ain't gonna get up. He's not letting me up. I have to give something away now.
I know. And I took that stupid bait. And for the whole, I think that was near the end, for the whole 20 minutes prior, whatever it was, I was very good at being disciplined. No, I'm going to fight to be on top. I'm going to keep my balance. I'm not going to throw my balance away for any reason.
I remember at one point, I think I said to you, when you were in Turtles, I was so I'm going to jump for the back. I'm going to jump for the back. And I stopped myself twice. I was like, no, I'm going to stay on top.
And that's, kind of going into this, this whole thing we're doing isn't a technical thing. It's not a introduction of new technique or anything like that. It's just a discipline change of, and it's funny, people whinge about having to fight wrestlers in jiu-jitsu, I'm going to have to fight a wrestler. If that wrestler knows how to negate guard, you no help. You have no hope. Like, because what are you really going to do? And this was like one of the interesting things. So we did this in class with a student who kind of co-trains at a different gym, who maybe doesn't have the same outlook as we do. Is that he's kind of encouraged to pull guard, and then we're doing a whole class on negating guard. Like, don't walk into the person's guard, deny them passing, getting control past your front lines. And then he can't get guard on people. And then I asked the question, like, would you pull guard if everyone did this? And he went, no, because I'm literally throwing myself on my own ass into a situation where I can't get the thing I want. I'm just going to get smashed. Yeah, exactly. And if you're fighting people who've got good balance as well, throwing yourself on the bottom, you're not going to come up and you're not going to win. Like, and that's again one of those kind of base things I think you should learn from day one and do it every goddamn day. Like, be disciplined. And we talk about balance of, it's not a technique you're going to learn in a day. Like, it's a skill that takes loads of time. Like so gymnastics. We're currently doing gymnastics, and we suck at so much of that. Like, just staying upright and doing handstands and doing front and backwards somersaults. Like, it's hard as shit. If you imagine you tried to put us on one of those balance beams and try to get us to do stuff on there, like, I think we'd cause more damage than actually a regular jiu-jitsu fight. I think I have been fucked up more at gymnastics than I have at jiu-jitsu recently. I come back way, way worse.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, that's
them somersaults, mate. Sometimes hit the legs the next days. My quads are burning sometimes.
Dude, my whole body. Like, on a Friday morning, it's like hair of the dog. Like, I go in to do some private, so I'm like, my body's it's fucked. I can't function. I think that's one of the reasons why gymnasts are so useful when they start jiu-jitsu, is to just have balance. Like, they've got good body tension.
Can you remember Bryony?
Yeah, exactly.
Mad.
Like, good control over your, over how your body operates, and great balance. Like, automatically just a difficult thing to deal with, and you can't feel bad that you then make them fall on their back more and lose their balance. Not like physically, you just encourage them, like, oh no, don't stay upright, fall over more, fall onto your back, play guard, it's good for you. Stupid idea. Yeah, and that's a skill, like proprioception, how you feel in the ground, your awareness of your body in space, body tension. Like, I think we talked about it. Again, everything kind of blurs into one. Like, strength, when it comes to isometric strength, and this is something that we've both been bouldering, and that's I think more closely related to fight strength than weightlifting.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's like, I could do decent number of pull-ups and chin-ups, and then when they introduced me to lock-offs, where like your arms halfway locked and you're holding yourself on the wall that way, I was like, I've got fuck all strength in that way. But that makes more sense for grappling, because I'm not just pushing and pulling people, I'm locking them in like my joints in situations where I'm gripping them. Yeah. If they can't break that lock-off strength, that's fight strength. I think that's, again, that kind of comes into balance. It comes into that body tension, that isometric strength. If you have that, which takes fucking time to learn, you become nigh on impossible to deal with.
Yep.
And if you then teach that person guard negation and an intensity to keep people down, what hope do they have? They're not going to get a guard, which means they can't get a submission.
100%. It's like now everybody's talking about the B team and stuff, but Nicky Rod is a prime example of that. Who's someone who doesn't play guard, he doesn't respect guard because he's always trying to pass it in that aggressive manner, and he just doesn't like his back touching the floor. If you watch his matches, it's a very wrestling heavy, top base pressure stuff. I think it's that style. If you see a lot of Danaher's guys now, like Gordon Ryan, his last fight, that's literally what he did. He just smothers people now.
Yeah, and Danaher's saying it as well, like, take the other person on the feet, stay on your feet, generate power. Ryan Hall saying it, of, be upright, be balanced. Everyone's saying be on top, and that's the problem here, is that It's how you then train it and getting out of that regular jiu-jitsu technique idea. Like, when do you put passing in? When do you put in the guard? It's like, honestly, when do you put in submissions? Like, I can't fucking find them. If I could hold someone down, pass their legs while negating the front lines, still hold them down whilst I'm passing, get through them closing up their armpits and denying me, when they're playing running man, they're denying me armpit control and all the good stuff. And then control them enough to then set up a submission that doesn't sacrifice my own balance. Yeah. I'll let you know when I find that situation. But right now I can't. And it was interesting. I won't bring up the student's name or where he's been. But you have to train with people who are doing this. Like, it's all well and good saying, "Oh yeah, we should get up," and "Oh, we're going to do a wrestling class," and then you go into jiu-jitsu sparring, and it's just, let's all play on the floor again. Like, no, like, you have to. I remember Preet calling me a dictator and saying, "Well, you're not giving them a choice. You're telling them they can't play guard." No, they can't. Sorry, it's not the stylistically. I'm doing the strategy here. They have to stay upright, because then it makes everyone earn the takedown, makes everyone earn the sweep. And I hate the idea of using the word wrestling. It's not fucking wrestling.
It's submission wrestling, or submission grappling, would you call it?
Yeah, well, jiu-jitsu is taking someone down, holding them down and submitting them. Yeah. Big parts of that is, there's a takedown element of jiu-jitsu, such as there's also a takedown element in wrestling and judo. There's a holding down element in wrestling. There's a holding down element in jiu-jitsu. But wrestling doesn't have submissions.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu does. And that idea, like, there's a takedown element and the holding down element. And as soon as you start doing those things in jiu-jitsu, you go, "Oh yeah, you're wrestling." Like, no. I'm just holding you down.
Yeah.
Why does that make me a wrestler? I'm taking you to. I'm like, people who shoot back up to their feet, going, "Oh yeah, but you're a wrestler. You just don't like landing on your back." No, I'm a person who doesn't like getting beaten up. Like, why would I land on my back? It sounds like a stupid idea. And the whinging that then comes from it, of when a jiu-jitsu person meets someone who doesn't want to go to their back and keeps jumping upright. Like, "Oh yeah, but I don't want to fight wrestlers." You're going to lose then. Like, and the amount of stories you hear of, like, good wrestlers going to jiu-jitsu gyms and just wiping the floor with the place.
Yeah.
It's what we do only works against people who are conditioned to do the same thing.
Yeah, compliant.
And it's becoming, I say, it's Aikido. It's a more live version of Aikido. Yeah. Like, if I grab you this way, fall over, kind of stuff, instead of fighting to stay upright. Yeah. It's so. And it's, again, like, when you start talking about this idea, it's like, "Oh yeah, but what techniques?" Like, just, you know what? Just humor us. Don't let, if someone's on their back and they're attacking you with guard-esque structures, don't let them pass your front lines. Like, don't let them pass the front of your body. Do not let them around the sides. Do not let them around the back. If so much as a toe goes behind your kneecap, get rid of it. If their hand goes behind your head, get rid of it. Be disciplined. Negate it first.
Yeah.
Stay the fuck on top. Keep your balance. Do not fall over. Just do that, and then give us feedback on how much that pisses people off.
And unfight a lot.
Well, that's it. Head fight. Just stop them passing your front line. That's why you got them there. You just do those things and see what happens. Just keep your balance and don't let them pass your front lines. I think that's enough. That if everyone in the gym was to do that for a period of time, you'd realize, oh my God, we all suck. Like, people trying to keep their balance, and then not letting people pass the front lines, you'd realize, holy shit, I don't know actually how to attack people, because I can only attack people who fall over and let me behind them. My shit only works on stupid people. breathe, Chris. Breathe.
Yep.
Breathe.
Calm down.
Breathe.
Musa.
Which then, second question was, so I'm going to leave this more open to you as well, because you have more of an understanding on this, of leg rides. Your position on leg rides. I've just explained my position on leg rides. Fuck technique. Like, just apply the idea, and if it applies the idea,
no, I agree with you. I look like, I think I've said it before, where I've been asked what's your favorite guard, and I'm like, I couldn't care less. I need to keep them from passing my knees, and I don't care what configuration I have to use. All I have to consider is whether it's an inside or outside base guard, and in what way I'm going to be endangered. So, but the passing is same. If they're going to start getting up, I don't care. I need to get them down. So if it means leg riding, I'll leg ride. I do like leg riding, just because you can pin them in certain ways, and for them to get out, they have to use a lot of energy, and that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to cook them. It's not as simple as, say, if you get stuck in a half guard and they're behind your knee and they can start attacking, because before they can attack you in a leg ride, they have to get rid of you. So you have more time of survival compared to being stuck in a guard. But again, if it means them using their energy to move me away, fair enough, I'll come back and I'll go back in. No problem. And then look for leg ride again. But it comes into that category of just passing, like, do what you need to do to pass.
Yeah,
in my
it has to, again, fits that criteria of deny them passing your front lines, which makes it a leg ride.
Yeah.
And keep your balance and stop them from coming up. And how do you accomplish that? And sitting on someone's legs accomplishes that.
Yeah.
And so and it's interesting, this idea that this is, we've been saying it for years. This isn't a list of techniques handed down by some deity on a stone tablet that arrived somewhere in Brazil and Mr. Gracie handed it out. It's his physics and physiology and trying to accomplish a goal, which is dominate another human being, keep them down, and keep yourself upright and in the best possible way of creating power to attack them back. And as long as it fits that criteria, you'll invent jiu-jitsu again. Like, we could delete all of human knowledge, restart, and would reinvent jiu-jitsu, like as it looks now. Yeah, because it's just science. And so I don't like this idea of looking too far into the technique just yet. Like, if you haven't fixed your mindset yet, if you haven't fixed your discipline, technique's too far. Yeah, it's too much for you already. We're both black belts, and I'm already thinking technique is too much for us because
can't keep them down, mate. Can't hold them. It's like they just do not stop moving, and it's like if I throw myself or something, if I lose position, I'm on the bottom, and then they just don't let you get up, man. And you got to like throw shade. I'm like, I'm a black belt. I shouldn't need to do this against a white belt or a blue belt. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
I guess the question could be said, well, if you guys knew technique, you'd know how to do that. Like, our techniques worked.
Yes.
Like, we were really good at what we did, and still are good at what we do against jiu-jitsu people. But the second you just say to that person, how about you stand up? We realize we're only good at holding down people who can't walk.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, what is any of this built on?
We've got to start from the scratch again. Start from scratch.
I joked previously I would demote myself to blue belt at some point if it didn't make me look like an absolute pretentious dick more than I already am. I would demote. And I feel so weird now giving belts out to people.
I can't put a judgment on it right now. Like, I could say to you, one or two people I think might be ready for the blue. I'm like, I can't put a judgment on this. Like, the usual criteria we would use is non-existent right now at the moment, I think. Like, it's not as clear as it used to be. I was honestly thinking this I was rolling with someone the other day, and I was like, ooh, he might be close to his blue light. But I was thinking, like, he doesn't know, like, we can't judge him with the criteria we used to use, you know what I mean? We've got to come up with something else, mate.
Yeah. I can't. I'm a blue belt. Feels like it right now. Compared to
Life is hard.
what I should be capable of. Dude. Yeah, so I think that answers those two questions of loose passing and
Yeah.
leg riding. Is again too far in the reads on this. Like, fix the mindset first. You fix the mindset, and then let's talk. And then you'll come up with like, oh shit, now we have problems. Like, I need to know about what the fuck happens here. And it'll. I think we should. You know, I've started on Threads. Have you started on Threads?
If I'm honest with you, I saw it when they had that beef because someone sued or was trying to sue someone, and I was like, all I know is it exists. I haven't even gone on there to look at it. Is it actually like a social networking, a new app or something? I'm not 100% sure.
It's so if you think, it's the text version of Instagram essentially. So it's owned by Meta, the same people.
Okay.
And so literally all you have to do is when you go onto it, you start it and it just loads up your Instagram name.
Is it linked to your Instagram then?
Yeah. And it's just like a text version of Instagram.
No images at all?
Well, you can post images like Twitter, but you're more writing things than...
Oh, okay, interesting.
Like not on Instagram, obviously it's focuses on the picture, and then your caption's kind of like, if you want to read it, it's down here. This is more, here's the caption, here's the information, here's the
I'll look
the
into
text. Like, I want to maybe write stuff on it, like these ideas, like become a little Danaher of like writing down shit. But at the same time, I just like having somewhere I can just post my random ideas and shit that I'm just up to in general. If I didn't come across as terribly nerdy, I'd be posting Final Fantasy 16 stuff daily on it. But I'm too busy playing games. Yeah, so it's something to look into. Threads.
I will look. I'll do it.
I think I think they had like 100 million people download in the first 5 days. But I don't know how many people are using it. It doesn't feel as intuitive as Twitter.
Okay.
Or X, as he's now called it.
Which is called X now?
Yeah, Elon Musk has changed the little Twitter bird to an X.
That guy's a bad man.
I don't think he's a bright individual. He's
The thing is, Chris, with that much money and with that much power, you can do whatever the hell you want and nobody can do shit to you. It's as simple as that.
I think once you have money and you have these positions, like you find your way into these positions, I don't think it's possible to fuck up that hard without being able to recover it. Like, Donald Trump is still loaded. He ain't a bright dude. And he's still surviving painfully.
Although, did he get us cancelled?
Not cancelled, I guess. We just lost some of our US contingent. Maybe he's playing 4D chess and we just don't know it. Maybe we're not bright enough, and that's why we make jiu-jitsu podcasts. So I think also one of the interesting things about it is about looking at jiu-jitsu this way. And, I'm obviously this is going to come out before I disappear, but I'm going to be out of the country from the 28th, imminently, Friday. So tomorrow, if you listen to us on Thursday when it comes out, or I'm already out of the country. But, leaving the gym in your capable hands and the other guys in the gym, it feels like I don't need to be there. On Monday we did asymmetrical sparring of, one person is leading the sparring. I think that's a better term to use, of leading, like not winning, but, telling the other person what you need from like a constant flowing scenario.
Yeah.
And just sticking to the core strategy of negate anyone passing your front lines, get the fuck up, stay the fuck on top, keep the other person down, keep in balance. Just do those things. Like, not a lot to think about. Just keep saying them to yourself relentlessly. Find your balance, find your posture, find your alignment, make yourself strong, create a good base, create a good posture into the ground. and you just saying to your partner, like, right, start taking me down, put the intensity on, try and find a guard on me and stuff like that, and just, try and find behind my knees and stuff, just negating those things and just guiding your partner through it, and not sticking to one thing, but allowing it to flow, and putting yourself in losing scenarios as well. I thought that was a really good thing, and it allows people to play. And it was interesting, like in the Steve Hodinsky podcast, which isn't out yet, so spoilers, is how I learned jiu-jitsu. I never drilled. It was I didn't drill after the first 8 months or whatever it was, and unless I went to a random jiu-jitsu gym. I learned more from playing and building those connections, that critical thinking, instead of just memorizing stuff. And so if I didn't learn that way, why should I put other people through the same? Like, give them the space to do critical thinking. Like, explain the concepts as I've see them, the strategy, which can change, and allow them to create those scenarios to do those critical thinking.
Yeah.
I thought that worked really well. It looked like you guys were having a lot of fun.
Yeah, because like we were talking about it afterwards, it was like it puts the onus on you, doesn't it, on your own training, and then the other side of it, where putting yourself in losing positions in a spar, you don't necessarily put yourself in losing positions unless you're better than someone and you're letting them play. So I think taking that step back and giving everybody the opportunity to play and put yourself in bad positions lets you work on them positions. I was working on stuff that I would probably get stuck in against you. You know what I mean? Like just telling them to attack this way and then keeping, stuck with them. I would call them fundamentals now. Staying upright and not letting your butt touch the floor. Blah blah blah. Getting up. So I thought it worked quite well, and everybody I went with the four maybe people, maybe different, and it wasn't like nobody didn't understand what they were doing. It was like, okay, show around. What do you want from this? Okay, cool. I'm gonna do blah blah blah, and you tell me if you need me to up the pace or slow it down. You know what I mean? And we were all having that conversation as well. So yeah, I found it very useful, and I think speaking to the others, I think they said they found it very useful as well. So I think it's a really good tool.
It was interesting. Like we had someone who was relatively brand new in that scenario. And I thought the things that I want them to do is kind of universal, as in, I don't want you to fall over. Stay the fuck upright. If you're on top of the other person, try and keep them on the floor. Don't let them pass your front of your body in any way. If you feel any part of their body behind you, get rid of it. Back up, strip it, whatever you need to do, and stay on top and stay balanced. That's pretty much all I need you to do. And if the other person, if you're helping the other person, if you're the partner and they're the leader of the drill, you're essentially then just trying to still apply those ideas. Like, if they want you to try and get touch behind them, like, that's easy. Like, I don't need to teach you guards. Just use parts of your body, your feet, your hands, just to touch behind them. That's enough for them to play. If they need you to stay on top of them and smother them and not let them up, that's an easy idea. We've got a basic understanding of pushing someone over. So they're automatically useful. Like, okay, their skill isn't there, and that can come over time and the finesse for it. But they're all automatically they're building up these good connections. Habits. Yeah, exactly, and everything will kind of make sense to them from there on in. So I thought, the asymmetrical sparring, but again, you don't need me after that. Like, in general, now I'm superfluous. Because it's the same stuff every week. I'm there for strategy. I'm there to figure out, like, right, where we suck strategically as a team, which is everywhere right now, and create the space to allow those things. Like, it's got to the point where I'm literally saying 2 or 3 things and then just leaving you guys and like, cool, see you at sparring. Enjoy. And so it means I can leave
Yeah, I think your conversation with Kit Dale is going to be very interesting around that, because he does things a very similar way.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully if I can create a clip out, I can tag him in this and like, Kit, please talk to us. I've got interesting things to talk about. Hope Hope you have interesting. Hope we can bounce ideas off each other. Maybe. Yeah, but it means that you're not looking at me like a fountain of like, Chris, give me the newest technique or I'll die. No, just keep implying these ideas. Just like I can disappear for the next month, and if you keep doing these ideas, the gym will come back better.
Yeah.
Than when I left it. And so it's again changes the emphasis on. I think I've said to you before, like I imagine you felt the same running your thing over in at the Coliseum. You always feel like you have to be getting the new stuff, like new technique, and showing your worth as a coach, like going more techniques. But now it's like you don't.
Nope.
Just make sure the strategy is good. Make sure the ideas communicated effectively, and allow them the space to apply those things, and just keep reminding them this is the strategy.
Yep, 100%. All you just hear me is just shouting, "Don't hand fight, hand fight, hand fight! Don't fall. He falls, stand up." That's all you hear me saying, shouting at him.
Exactly. And some of the feedback of people who've visited the gym from elsewhere is, because we're all trying to keep balance all times against each other, it's really hard to take us down. And you think, we're not wrestlers. We just don't want to fall over. That's it. And we just spend a lot of time trying to learn not to fall over.
Yeah.
And being belligerent that way. If that makes us good wrestlers, then fantastic. Or we just suck less than jiu-jitsu people. Have a black belt in falling over. That's going to be really interesting, like I said, because I'm after Heidelberg for the Globetrotters camp as of next week. Feedback on this, so I'll roll with various people, and I'll offer feedback, for the first week of the week when I return, of how was it just staying upright on people? Did people get mad? Like, how was it just standing up on, like, not playing guard? Which I'm not going to play guard for the whole week. I'm going to be...
Yeah, sorry. Are you teaching this as well, or are you teaching something different?
I'm going to teach this. I'm on day 2. I'm going to be showing how to defend everything 2023.
3.0.
I think someone might record it. I think there's a videographer there, but there isn't. I'm going to take my GoPro and record it anyway, so it will be hitting the YouTube in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, just essentially these ideas. I want to see what happens to people who attend, of getting this idea across and literally saying to them for for the next 20 minutes, just fight each other and don't fall out of balance. I want to see what happens. There you go. That's probably fixed most of your defensive problems. What's that bonsai tree analogy we've used before, of instead of just snipping an infinite number of leaves off this bonsai tree, like, that's my rear naked choke defense. Oh, that's my triangle defense. Just like cut down the fucking tree. Like, you can't take me down. You can't do any of those things to me. So I'm just going to kill your fucking tree. I'm going to poison the roots and chop it down. Salt the earth. It will never grow again. That seems like a more useful... Imagine that, though. Imagine, like, all the time you could spend learning jiu-jitsu, of learning defenses to everything, and then just thinking, well, if you can't take me down, you can't do anything to me. So instead of me learning all these infinite numbers of defenses to all your infinite number of positions, how about I just learn to have really good balance and fuck your jiu-jitsu? What a weird way of dealing with it. Because then you get the complaint well, you're just not playing the game. Like, you ain't taking me down. It's not my job to lose.
What is the game like? What, fall on your back?
Yeah. Why would I get into your weird jiu-jitsu position? This is supposed to be a fighting art. If you can't take me down and get me into jiu-jitsu, why the fuck would I care? And that applies all the time. You think, okay, even if you entered a little bit into the jiu-jitsu sphere, of just having really good balance and negating people going past your front lines, you'd still get that whinging. Like, people go into guard and go, well, I can't sweep him or her. I can't get guard on them because they keep not letting me behind them. But they're not playing the game. And I've heard that whinging before from someone. You're just not letting them play the game, you're just out-strategying them. No, I'm just not being stupid.
not going into the fire. Why would you walk into the fire? Why?
It's not my problem. It's not my job to lose for you.
Yeah.
It's your job to be better. If I have to hand you things on a plate for you to be able to succeed, what you do may not be legit.
Yeah.
That's, if we're going to leave on any ideas, that is, I think, the key one.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of circles back round to, again, like, you have to be a dictator and say to the whole team, like, you're all going to do fucking this now. Because then,
Chris John.
imagine, Chris John. I remember that in the gym. I'm going to bring it back. I like that. I might put that as a t-shirt. I'm looking for a t-shirt design. I might put Chris John as it. Let's see how well that goes down.
Yeah.
What a weird disinfectant that would be for a jiu-jitsu gym. Like, imagine, like, you're listening to this podcast and you have your jiu-jitsu gym, and we've just got this little disinfectant we're going to spray in, and we go, right, let's see how real this fucking place is. All the people in here, don't fall over now, and all the people in here, don't let people pass your front lines. That's all I'm going to say to you. I'm not going to tell you what the fuck to do, as in techniques. I just want you to apply that one idea. Don't fall over. Stay the fuck upright. Keep your balance, and don't let people pass your front lines. And you watch jiu-jitsu just fall apart in that place. I want to try it. I might go do a seminar. I am doing a seminar. I want to see what the fuck happens. I'm just going to put some, a little disinfectant in there and just go, right, how about let's see how real your jiu-jitsu is. Everyone, stay upright. Everyone, don't let the enemy pass your front line. Go. See what happens after 5 minutes. We can't get shit.
Fix your jiu-jitsu.
Which meant your jiu-jitsu wasn't real.
Yeah.
It meant your jiu-jitsu only worked against people doing conditioned things for you. You were doing a false martial art. Oh dear. Have fun.
Yeah. Suffering, pain and suffering.
I wonder how we could accomplish this. Anyone listen to this? Like, this is like the Naki and Chris brand disinfectant here. This is a villain cast.
We'll sprinkle it like salt base.
Yeah, just like a bit of sprinkle of this disinfectant.
Thunder,
into the...
lightning. Thunder, lightning.
Exactly. Like a bit of Arm and Hammer right there. Like, spray some of this into your jiu-jitsu club. Just like one sparring session. Say, right, no one is going to fall over. Like, you literally keep your balance tooth and fucking nail. You do not let your ass hit the floor. You stay the fuck upright. Do not let the enemy pass your front line. If you feel anything behind you in any way, shape, or form, deny it. That's the first thing you go do. You're not going to gamble. You just go deny it. And then carry on. You tell me how many guards work and how many sweeps work and how many submissions work. I don't think it's that high.
Yeah. It's a good no trend on that. Is.
I think I want to, so please, anyone listen to this. I know I'm out of the country and stuff like that. Send me videos and send me feedback of this. Like, if this causes absolute fucking chaos, I want it. I want to hear about it. If it doesn't do anything, I want to hear that too. Like, I like hearing failures of my ideas. That's how I grow. But if this causes pain and people to go, fuck. Like, fuck this. Fuck everything in here. Like,
fuck jiu-jitsu.
What a villainous thing to do. How appropriate. Like, the villain and the chief just ruining everything.
Oh, damn.
All at once, putting that out there. I am going to take my GoPro with me. I'm going to record that class in Heidelberg. I'm going to say, that's how I might start, because I'm playing like how I want to create the seminar in my head. I may just start the seminar that way. I may say, right, guys, I want to do like a 3-minute roll. Do your best version of jiu-jitsu, 3-minute roll. Right. Next. Same thing, but I don't want you to fall on your ass. I want to keep your balance. Keep upright. Keep stable. Be human. And don't let the enemy pass your front line. What do I mean by that? Roll again. Now give me feedback. How much of your shit just fell apart? I may record just like the streaming of tears.
Yeah. We know the result already, so it's all right. We just got to...
I'd be curious.
We just put it into practice. No, I'm quite confident.
Yeah, I'm confident, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
If it ruins everything. And then, like I say, it's just, as soon as you kind of seen into the Matrix a little bit there, it's like, well...
Come to our gym, train with us.
Well, it's like, as soon as you've kind of seen into the Matrix, like you know the Matrix is real, like, can you go back to normal life again? Oh, man, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh. This is going to go horribly wrong.
It's going to be fun.
Wong? Yeah. Any points from you before we leave? I know you're going to miss me. You might even know. Not even going to notice I'm there. Like, no one needs me in the gym anymore. I'm unnecessary.
You're down Thursday, aren't you?
But the day this comes out, potentially.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially. But you guys won't miss me. You just miss my music choices.
No.
That's all you'll miss.
We missed the shouting.
I have to remind everyone. That's all I'm there for. Is I'm just strategist.
Get away from the mirrors.
Yeah, that's a strategy. Don't fucking cost me any more money. Then I just reiterate the strategy.
Yeah.
Just keep the strategy.
No, there's nothing wrong with your music choices, Chris. I like your music choices.
Really? Like, have you ever noticed that whenever I put on the music, I always choose something different, really inappropriate for the first song? Like, because that first roll, when you first picking that first dance partner, is like, it feels like you're at a school dance, and like, you know, hey, do you want to dance together? So I put on something really awkward for that first song. Like, you know, when it was like 90s, I was putting on like "Kiss Me" by Sixpence None the Richer, or like the theme to Dirty Dancing, if it was the 80s. Like, I've had the time of my life. Just weird songs. Yeah. Just like every week I'd be sitting there for the entire week just thinking like, right, main class Thursday. What awkward song could I put on for the first one? Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody, You Make My Dreams Come True. There's just such a fantastic list of songs to put on when two people are awkwardly trying to like dance with each other for the first time at an open mat. Like, that's why I don't roll. It's like that first round, I want to see people be weird.
I get it now. Mate, sometimes I'm really thinking, like, when I hear, I need a hero, I'm like, fucking, I'm trying to roll here, mate. Like, well, I don't need a hero right now. I'm trying to roll.
Dude, it makes me so happy. Also, actually, you know, speaking of other jiu-jitsu related things, so one thing that I get a lot of feedback from in the gym right now, and it's kind of turned out really well. So this GoPro that I invested in, I got for the gym in the GoPro 9. It might be the other older ones, but I know 9 onwards, 9 up to 11, allow you to stream directly to YouTube as a live video. If you have, I think you have to have more than 50 subscribers, which, you know, our channel does. But we live stream all our rolls onto the channel privately. Like, it's unlisted, so only the members of that role can see the role. But because it bypasses the phone, like, I don't have to save a video and try and upload 2 hours of footage or whatever it is. It means that every rolling session we have is saved in HD, and we call it SlamCam.
SlamCam!
Yeah, it's fantastic for your ability to roll, to rewatch rolls or study things and study how you're moving and look at it from that third person perspective. It's awesome. Like plugging the GoPro into the wall or into a battery pack. I use my Wi-Fi hotspot on my phone. Like the camera connects through that Wi-Fi hotspot and then it just goes straight into YouTube live. So when I click finish, it's already watchable in HD. No upload time, no nothing, and it's so good. Like people are saying, like, you know, they rewatch our rolls and stuff, like, oh yeah, I've learned so much from, like, you know, just watching you and Naki roll. I'm like, you weren't even there. But that's awesome. It's such a useful tool for the gym.
Since we've implemented it, I think it's done us wonders really well.
Yeah. So anyone interested in if they're trying to find a way of recording your rolls, but uploading an hour and a half, 2 hours of footage just seems utterly mental. GoPro allow you to bypass that and stream directly to YouTube. Only problem we had was because we like to listen to music, it was tripping up YouTube's automatic copyright infringement software. So I purchased a media mod, which allows you to connect external microphones that are literally plugged in a dead microphone. So it has a bit of a weird clipping noise, but it's awesome, isn't it?
Like a crackle. I just put Spotify on and put music on in the background and watch it.
Yeah. Although I have found it's just mostly the bullying tool now, is that we all just see who we air-rated and then we create clips of that person getting thrown around for each other.
It's just banter for the night.
Increase the bullying. Exactly. Every time I put it up, the next hour is just texts of bullying on each other.
Friendly bullying, friendly.
I don't know, man. I slammed your brother pretty hard.
He deserved it.
I created that gif of his legs in the air. So my advice. I think that I know we talk about technique a lot on here, and I know we talk about jiu-jitsu concept and philosophy, but I think there's these other ideas of jiu-jitsu, like running the business of jiu-jitsu, the gym culture of jiu-jitsu. I think those are also interesting things to kind of talk about and hear, like what people do. And being in the game already for 14 years has allowed me to pick up weird tricks that have helped, like the camera thing. Try and record, take a picture on a phone or anything like that. It always looks fucking terrible, and no one gives a shit about group photos. Like if I go on a gym's Instagram page and it's just a raft of group photos of you take a photo every night. No one gives a shit.
Yeah, not every night.
Yeah, if it's a group photo every night, no one gives a fuck. No one who is interested in joining jiu-jitsu has any fucking clue what you're doing. They're just seeing a group of people looking sweaty or well dressed. Don't know when you take your pictures. Each night, but and people will share those. Oh yeah, great night jiu-jitsu. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're just standing in line. But portrait photography, being able to create a good foreground background. I looked into that. I read into it. I researched it. I played around, and it creates an attention to what's happening. I want to look at I'll focus on two people and what they're doing in a role, and the rest of the photos blurred out. And because I'm using a 35mm lens, prime lens, and it's got a nice wide 1.8, 1.6 aperture. It allows me to get a pretty fast speed on the shutter, like a 250 or whatever, which is probably just about enough. And it creates really nice photos, and people like sharing what they are into, so it's good for marketing. You don't have to sit there long and just take about 5 or 6 photos. But it's little tricks like that. I'd be interested in any other ideas that people have for
anything that makes life easy, innit?
Culture. Yeah, jiu-jitsu gym culture. Like good music, like people like feeling like they've had a good night out. So playlist is important.
Very important.
Yeah, creating that, getting those good photos, and how do you even do it? What kind of kit would you need? I haven't got an expensive camera. It's a regular DSLR, but it had to be a decent lens. And then, if you want to record rolls, Spotify,
YouTube,
GoPro to YouTube. Means you don't have to upload. Imagine how big a 2-hour or 1 hour HD file would be. I'd be still uploading last week's.
Yeah.
Never. I think that's why I gave up the first time I ever tried that. I actually found my original video camera that we were using 7 or 8 years ago to record rolls, and I remember how painful it was trying to upload videos back in those days after every roll. Fuck that. The easier, this thing becomes. It's why I like this technology as well, this podcasting stuff. Life's way easier.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's getting late. We've been going for an hour. Do you use any of this stuff at your gym? Or do you just go, fuck you all, just get training?
With the camera thing?
No, yeah, Coliseum. Like, no, I know you don't have the GoPro stuff, but like, do you have any idea, like, any niche things that you do at your gym for like?
No, not really. I just do what we do at Active Arts. So I'll try and record sometimes, but I don't do anything like special. No, I just look at it as training. I don't got time for culture.
Oh.
Put some music on and roll.
I'm sorry. I try and enrich everyone's lives at the gym.
I just want good music and I want to fight. That's it. I don't know.
Maybe I'm looking at something like the old Austin Powers kind of like, perspective of like, even though I'm a villain, like, every evil organization has a human resources department of like, all these like guards, like, still need paying. And like you want to enrich their lives, so like even though I'm an evil dictator, villain, destroyer of jiu-jitsu, I still care.
Yeah, you do care.
Just not on the grand scheme of things. Like, that's really dark. Like the idea that Hitler and Stalin had a HR department. Like, yeah, but my henchmen still need to be paid. Like, what the fuck? I think it's late. I need to go to bed.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, well, I hope you don't miss me too much. Like the people listening to this podcast, don't worry. Every Thursday, new episodes of Villain Cast. You're not missing out. I've prepared. Like this is here to stay now.
Yeah, we're here to stay.
We're past episode 20, 25, 26 now. You wait. Episode 100, going to the moon. We're going to record in space. Like, we're on our way there. 2 years. 2 years from now. That's how long it takes to make that many episodes. Damn, man. So I hear Josh has made over 200. Man's a legend.
Yeah.
Good night, Naki. If I don't see you on Thursday or tonight or whenever this podcast comes out, I will see you soon.
See you soon, yeah.
The gym is in safe hands. Everyone else, like I say, there's going to be fresh content. I'm recording more for the Patreon over the next couple of days. There's going to be quite a few videos coming out for how to defend everything 3.0. Look out for those things if you're on Patreon. If you're not on Patreon, consider it. If you're interested in learning more of this style of jiu-jitsu. If you aren't already, join our Discord. I try and talk on there. I read. But if you have any questions for our podcast or any guest ideas that you want us to have on and talk to, please send them in. I'm super interested. You can find Naki and I on Instagram. There is a new... I should have had this ready. There's a new Instagram. So I might actually put up weekly questions if you want us to ask questions on the Instagram. And that is... I'm terrible at... what have I done? Villain Cast BJJ. I should have remembered that. I made it super easy for myself.
I thought you were going to show the screen, but you trying to remember the name, Chris. Come on.
I wanted to get it right. Villain Cast BJJ on Instagram. I obviously made it with ease in mind. Add it. Send us questions in. Send us guest ideas. They'll probably come up on this. I may even credit you for having such a good question. If you haven't already, like I say, go onto the Discord and send us your ideas. Other than that, this has been Reap the Week with Naki Arshed and Chris Paines. See you in 2 weeks, Nak.
Yep, see you in 2 weeks, man. Have a good one.
Everyone else, goodbye.
Goodbye.